Hey everyone, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Driveline 2.0, the ultimate social driving app. You've heard about it here before, and they've been out for a few months now, and Driveline has listened to all your feedback, and there has been a lot of it, and they are now launching version 2.0 with all kinds of new improvements to the system. They've got something called patches, which are real physical patches you earn, like Girl Scouts, through getting points on Driveline through miles traveled, videos posted, and more. It's not just a digital badge that exists in cyberspace. They'll literally send you a patch. You can share them on social media or in the real world to show that you are a master road tripper. They've got an improved Drive It functionality. Now, when you make a route and then another user drives a route you've created, you can see it. You can see how your fellow motorists take to your favorite roads. Note that there is not a reward system for driving a road faster than your buddy. Gotta say that one. There's new pins. In addition to just the roads driven, pins can be used to share all the places you stop off at, whether it's a restaurant, scenic overlook, a store hike, or a bathroom break. Share photos with others to make it easy to find the best spots, and an optional mini map in the video. When you shoot videos of your drives using the Driveline app, you can overlay a mini map. That way, when people see your videos, they know exactly what roads you're driving. Driveline 2.0 combines the best of what Driveline originally set up to offer with customer feedback rigorously implemented. Driveline in no way promotes street racing at all. Street racing is illegal and dangerous, and if you get in trouble for doing it, don't blame us, because here we are right now telling you that it's illegal and stupid. Don't street race, but do get the Driveline app for iOS and Android devices now and hit the road. If you guys are into watches, I've got a new podcast with the watchmaker Cameron Weiss, all about watches. It is great. Watches, cheap watches, expensive watches, complicated watches, fashion watches, the history of watches. We've got guests on to talk about their watches. It's the Watch and Listen podcast. It's available on iTunes, it's available on Shout Engine, it's available on all your Android podcast apps, including Google Play Music, and it is available on YouTube. It is a video podcast, and Cameron takes watches apart, opens the back, discusses the nuances of movements. He gets into the nitty-gritty. I learn. He teaches me, I learn, and it's a fun show. We've got some really, really interesting watches, and this week on Watch and Listen, we're talking about the family tree, how all watches, or most watches actually, can be traced back to just a few companies, and they share a lot of components. Very interesting topic. Check it out on YouTube, youtube.com/watch and listen podcast, all written out. And if you listen to it already and you like it on iTunes, rate it, review it. That helps keep us up in the rankings. I appreciate all of you listening. How about Beeline coffee? It's my favorite coffee. It is absolutely the most delicious, single origin, small batch, really some talented roasters over there making car-themed coffee. And car-themed coffee, you know, that could be cheeseball as hell, but this stuff, it happens to be delicious. In fact, I have my own roast, the Smoking Tire roast. It's a medium to light roast. It's really flavorful. It's great. It's got quite a bit of caffeine in it. Gets you up in the morning. And I'm a big fan of it. Go to BeelineCoffee.com. Anything you order off that site, whether it's my roast, any one of their other 7 or 8 roasts they've got going on at any one time. They have an espresso roast now, and you can get a monthly coffee subscription for anywhere from 1 or 2 months all the way up to a year. I just got my dad a year of coffee from Beeline for his birthday, and he is super stoked. It's probably a lot more than he'll ever drink. But code TST will get you 15% off anything you order from their store, no matter how big or small the order. Code TST at BeelineCoffee.com. Lastly, but in this case, certainly not any less important, Auto Tempest. Autotempest.com. Are you looking for a car? Are you not, quote, looking for a car, but you're always kind of looking for a car? Are you like me, where you just are constantly browsing around to see what the market looks like in case maybe something pops up, make a dumb decision, buy yourself another ride? We know how it goes, right? But here's what you don't want to have to do. Double work. Double work sucks. sucks. Nobody wants to do double work. So why would you want to have to go to all these car listing sites and list and search individually? How annoying. Go to Autotempest.com and search all the major top car market sites, like Cars.com, eBay Motors, Car Soup, Cars Direct, and more. Then you can compare it with results from AutoTrader and all of Craigslist nationwide. And you can do all of this in one place at Autotempest.com. And it's not just local either. You can search national. Find the exact car you want for the best price without wasting a ton of your time, and most importantly, without doing double work. Double work sucks. But I love Auto Tempest. It helps me streamline that process of getting to the point of making that bad decision and buying myself a new car. Check out Autotempest.com. We are happy to have them as a sponsor. Now, enjoy this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast. Are you achemmed? Is everyone achemmed? Achem. There we go. Smoking Tire Podcast. Smoking Tire Podcast. Why don't I start like rapid fire like I'm on crack or something? Smoking Tire Podcast. We're here.
Micro Machines.
Micro Machines.
Do not swallow. Get them anytime.
What's happening? This is weird. This seat I'm in is not my normal seat. I feel very different. And like normally someone's here being, if you're not here, I'm where you are. It's strange.
Isn't that like an executive move? Like you move someone from their normal chair and it throws them off balance?
Yes.
And why don't you stand? And they're like,
It does. And also, I went to a bar once in New York City called the Four-Faced Liar. And I sat down in the end of the bar. And the woman was like, I can always tell, the woman at the bar, she's like, I can always tell everything about a person by where they sit at the bar. And she's like, it's always like powerful people or people with secrets that sit in that seat that you're in. Because my back was I was in the corner.
Right.
My back. They're like, you like to sit with your back to the wall, right? And I'm like, yeah, obviously. And she's like, I know what it's like to be you. I was like, fuck. So I'm thrown off because right now my back is to the red curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And there ain't nothing.
You got to
back.
be able to see people coming.
There's nothing back there. But in case there was, it's fucked up that I can't see it now.
Me and Zach got you though.
I got you.
You got me. Yeah. Hi. Can you get my back on this one?
Yeah.
Whew,
yeah, I like to face the door in restaurants. Now. Same thing.
Right? Mm-hmm. Last night I made the mistake of facing the kitchen, and it was a particularly slow restaurant with only like 3 cooks in the kitchen, and it took like an hour to get fucking dinner. And I watched the cooks like smashing out to-go orders while I sat there twiddling my fucking thumbs for an hour. I was super annoyed.
That's not good because then you can judge every second of what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, this guy's busting his ass for someone else. Fuck.
He's a charitable man.
Fuck. Anyway, it's the show. I've been on the road. Zach did a little road as well. Timmy, not road.
I've been here.
You've been here.
No road.
Timmy off road.
But I don't know. I had like a little road trip to Barrett Jackson.
You've done 2 trips since I saw you.
Technically, Arizona Car Week. Can you turn my headphones down a little bit, Tim?
Yeah.
Technically, Arizona Car Week, not Barrett Jackson. I mean, I went to Barrett Jackson, up just a little bit. That's perfect. I went to Barrett Jackson as well, which is hilarious. And all at the same time, it's exactly what you expect. It's not. It's so much more. It's so much more, and also a little bit less.
What else is going on real quick in Arizona Car Week?
All right. So you know how like at Monterey Car Week, it's like the track day and then the concours and then some other side concourses and then at night there's the auctions. Mm-hmm. This is just the auctions. So at first I thought that would be awesome. The truth is a lot of it is kind of boring. And shout out to the guys at Haggerty who were super nice and invited me and put me up in the hotel and everything, and I chilled with them and they were all very nice people. But actually it's so if you go to Tim, are you dying over there? You dying?
Wrong pipe.
Do I need to call somebody?
I'll be all right.
So there's no. All right, put a flag up somewhere.
Like a 90-year-old man at a horse track.
Seriously. So unlike the Pebble Beach auctions, where there are people that kind of just go to spectate, you know, they're there for other shit, but watching the auction is like a scene, right? Mm-hmm. Like me. This place seemed a lot more full of dealers and representatives of other collectors that couldn't be bothered to show it. Now, granted, look, I didn't talk to fucking everybody. There's tens of thousands of people there, but like it didn't have the vibe of a Pebble Beach car week at all. And like, Scottsdale's like, it's like strip mall city.
Yeah.
So the auction, like the Gooding auction was fundamentally the same as a Pebble Beach Gooding auction, really, except that people didn't really dress up the same kind of way. But
car selection was different, or no?
No, the stuff you would sort of expect.
Okay.
I mean, I saw there were there's your obvious 60s Ferraris that sell for the 5 to 10 million range. There were a lot of Porsches, 356s, and whatever. There was some classic American stuff. I mean, if we're talking about Gooding specifically, Gooding focuses more on European cars, but they did have some classic American stuff. There was like a really fresh, like 2-door Land Rover from the, or 2-door Range Rover from the 70s, like one of the earliest ones, and some weird smaller European brands, and there was a 300-mile, or 429-mile Pantera GTS 5 that went for $300,000 that I thought was pretty neat.
Oh, I saw that you took that photo.
I took a picture of it. Yeah. And
those cars are so cool looking.
They're real cool.
Real good looking.
Yeah. And but that was Gooding is the higher end, and then there's RM, which is high end as well. And RM is smaller. It's literally like in a hotel ballroom. But RM had the funniest. That was not the good. Tim pulled up a picture of this sort of crappy Pantera that I saw in a tent at Barrett Jackson later. We can get back to that. Go back to my regular Instagram.
Those cars, it's like an Italian guy whose dad was a first-generation immigrant, and
right?
he was like, "You're going to be a painter." He's like, "No, I'm going to play metal."
Go down further. There. So that red Pantera is the one that went for a lot of money and had a very few. I think it was also restored because the paint was nicer than any factory Pantera paint I've ever seen. But
I've never liked the hood vents on those. Like I like the smooth hood.
Yeah.
Is there a radiator behind that?
There is.
Okay.
There's a radiator up there. Yep. And
they probably need it.
So Gooding, higher end. You can see in the next to it, there's an XK 150, I think, fixed head. Or that could be a 120 fixed head, but vintage European mostly over there. And then you go to Russo and Steele, which is like a fucking rodeo. It's hilarious. You go from this, may I have 7 million at the corner? Yes. To the gentleman over there? Yes. No, you may not increase your bid by only 50,000. Oh, silly boy. 100,000 increments only, That was like...
I love when they do that.
Well, when the car gets like over 1 million,
yeah,
and he'll go, that is at 1 million. Do I have 1,000,001? No, how about 1,050,000? I'm not doing 1,010,000, and he would like chide people for being like, you cheap fuck. No, and then you'd go to Russo and Steele up the road, which was like a rodeo, and it's like, they got
the more like,
and he would like,
cars, 300,
yeah,
300,
his
300,
voice
300.
would never stop, right?
Crazy.
And he would drop in like some of the funniest fillers. Like he dropped in a couple like Beastie Boys lines.
No way.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight for you at the party. Yeah.
He just needed anything.
Yeah, he would just drop like weird shit. And a couple times I was there with Larry Webster. A couple times I was like, yo, did he just drop a Wu-Tang verse in there?
That's amazing.
Like, I'm an old dirty B. Like, it was so funny. And
just anything his brain has gets funneled to his mouth.
It's just all gets funneled right in and out. And like, he's got to have like, phrases he shoves in there. And like, there was a couple other like song lyrics I heard in there, and just funny phrases, like pop culture phrases I heard thrown in there. That guy, the Russo and Steele auctioneer, was by far the most fun auctioneer that was there. The RM guy,
two. It's a small step for mankind, a big step for mankind.
Yes, exactly. It was like that.
12, 13 coming in on approach.
Houston, we have a problem.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Do I hear five? Like, hey.
And there was a couple of cars at Russo that he went in real optimistic, like car rolls into the block, and we have a 1987 Chevrolet Camaro. Do I have a 50,000, 50, 30, I'm 30. Maybe 10. Can I get 10, 11. All right, we have 8,500. Big money, more problems, more money, more problems, more money, more problems, more money, more problems, more money, more problems. Like,
there's
super funny.
Did Camaros really go that cheap, or is that just a joke?
That
I mean, that was a joke, but there were a couple cars where the opening bid, for one reason, not the opening bid, the opening like throwout number was way ridiculously optimistic. Although overall, I think based on the cars I saw selling, I think the market at the very top was soft and the market at the bottom was coming up. Like, dope Fox bodies were going for 40 grand all day.
Whoa.
Like, like really, really, really nice ones.
Right.
Like the super low mile stock,
collector level.
Go up on that. Wait, maybe it's down. It's on that same area on my Instagram, Tim. There's a fleet of Fox bodies every single year. Yeah. Go down there. It is on the left.
Remember, we went to the track day.
Those were all selling. Those weren't just there on display. They sold them.
When we went to that track day with the Hellcat, they were showing, I think Barrett Jackson or Mika was on TV. We weren't eating lunch.
Yeah.
And every car that rolled out 4 or 5 in a row, the first ask was 100 grand.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't hear the audio, so I'm sure they were dropping. But but they were like really nice pro touring builds that probably cost $200,000.
Yeah, I mean, a couple months ago we were talking about, I was like, oh, you can go to these auctions and grab a $200,000 pro touring car for 50 grand. Like, that wasn't actually really happening this year. The $200,000 builds were going for 110, not 50.
Okay.
But the sort of nice at first glance but not great cars that probably should have been like, they would be like 30 on Bring a Trailer, they were going for 50.
Okay.
Because I don't think people do the rigorous inspections at these auctions that a Bring a Trailer audience or even just a peer-to-peer sale.
I don't think you have time.
Huh?
I don't think they have time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are allowed to bring a mechanic, and you're allowed to open hoods and poke around, and they'll even start some of the cars for you, and and that kind of shit. But yeah, you're not going on test drives or any of that. So
Barrett Jackson themselves doesn't do any.
No, none of the auction houses. As far as I think
that'd be a bad
idea. If you were talking about if you're talking about RM,
but just
RM and Gooding will do if they represent a car. They do diligence so that. If the car's in the fucking 7 figures, they do diligence on the history and the VIN number and stuff. But there's big signs when you walk in. It's like, if you buy a car here, this is you. You know what I mean? I'm just facilitating. It's your responsibility to check the car. It's your responsibility to pay at the end of day's business. It's your responsibility to do this. You may bring someone to check it. You may do this and this. It's like a big, it's like one of those notices for filming, but it's like a notice. Like, if you enter and buy a car here, like, that shit's on you.
Well, that's what's so great about Bring a Trailer is it's the equivalent of if you went to that auction house and you're looking at a Camaro, and then before it goes up on the block, you could stand up on stage and ask the entire crowd what they thought. Because Bring a Trailer, like, there's mechanics looking at it.
Yeah,
and
they have experts that are looking in this sort of thing. I mean, I would still get a PPI done if I was going to buy a car on Bring a Trailer or anywhere. But so the alcohol, the energy, I will say that every single one of these, I mean, RM I went to in like the last 20 minutes of the night, so the energy wasn't, that great. But like, the other ones, especially Gooding, especially Barrett, especially Russo, they had a really fun energy. Like, you want to get in. Like, I want to play this game. All these people they're up on, especially like, not Gooding, but like Russo and Steele and Barrett, like, you can just walk on fucking stage if you have a pass. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So people want to get on TV. They're over. I mean, there was a car, this Mercedes 190, that was like a no sale on Bring a Trailer 6 months ago. Same car. And it sold for 33 plus commission. You know what I mean? Like, the car didn't get any better. The market hasn't really gone anywhere on those cars in 6 months. But if you just look at it, like, it's one of those things that, like, just the pictures made it look pretty cool, and like it looks pretty cool just sitting here. And even Larry Webster was like, dude, you should get down on that car. And I was like, I know that car from somewhere. And I went looking, and I was like, oh yeah, it was a no sale at 20. And Larry was like, maybe you can get it for like 15. And I was like, all right, well, I actually had a bidder's pass. I was like, fuck, I'll get in this thing. I'll tell you, I was like, if this thing is under 15, I'm buying. I mean, the opening bid was 18.5, and it ended up going for like 30 something.
Wow.
Yeah, to a guy who was standing right next to us wearing blown out Air Max 95s and a giant Breitling. Good luck with that car.
It'll be up for sale again in 6 months.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there were shit boxes, there was decent stuff, there was everything in between. There were, I went there. I went there just to browse, just to wander and find what I find. And I found some really beautiful builds. I found some really tasteful stuff. I found full restos. I found originals, cars and needs, but really bizarre customs, shit that's sort of like, really? Like, you know, I mean, like random SLs from 5 or 6 years. Dude, there was like a 08 CL65 that sold for like $22,000. It had like 40,000 miles. And I was like, oh shit, really? A couple of these cars got stoled.
Yeah.
A couple of them did.
What came of
That
the Morrison T-Bird? Morrison chassis T-Bird.
It sold I was sort of it went for like 50. I thought there was at Russo and Steele there were a glut of 50s T-Birds. There were like 10 of them. And I actually had looked at so many of them. My grandpa had one. I thought that could be kind of fun if I could get it super cheap. Again, I'm not looking to go buy a T-Bird, but I was like, there's so many of these things. Like one of them's going to go cheap, and there were two that I looked at, and there was one that had a Coyote motor, a 6-speed, and a Morrison chassis, and the pre-auction photos, the build wasn't like quite done, so it looked like there was some like wiring. By the time I got there, the car was ace. It was so nice. Like, nope, there's no way I'm getting
way
that.
too high.
That's gonna be way too expensive. And there was another one that had like a 302, like my Mustang had, with a 5-speed T5 and a Morrison chassis, and it was ugly color and had ugly wheels and an ugly interior. And I thought maybe, and it still went for like 22.
Yeah, and painting,
not worth it. Not worth it.
It's a lot.
It would be highly unlikely for you to, I think, to go to an event like this and find a real deal, because there's a lot of people who go looking to spend money and who have the same mindset as you.
Yeah.
And they know a thing
and
or
that's
two
how
about
auctions
cars.
work. Oh, that's where you go. It goes up. There's a lull. People go, hang on a minute, and then all of a sudden, that next level, it stops being about a value for a car and starts being I want to win.
Oh yeah. That's
and
bad.
winning,
Crowd mentality.
Yeah, and so that's a whole thing. I will say the funniest individual sale I saw, which I did put on Instagram, at RM. RM is a very high end European. It's Lusos and it's expensive shit, gull wings and the stuff that's in the upper half of the 6 figures, into the 7 figures. The last sale of the night, I think, go down on my Instagram, Tim, a little further. It was
fire truck was cool.
The fire truck was kick ass, right? Keep going. There, on the left.
Oh.
So the RM sold the other one. RM sold a Pontiac Solstice, and I think they did it as a goof. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why somebody would submit a Solstice to RM.
In the photo with the license plate holder over the grill.
Oh, it was, and we saw it in the catalog, and like it was after dinner, and someone was like, "Hey, you want to go over to RM and watch him sell a Solstice?" And I'm like, "Excuse me." So we go, and it's like Lusso, TR, Lancia, Vintage Alpha, Solstice. And this is and the last lot of the night, the 2006 Pontiac Solstice, and it's and the auctioneer he's deadpanning intentionally, and everyone's laughing. Like the driving dynamics are superb and surely a future collectible and classic. And it's like a non-turbo
automatic, right?
Yeah.
It had to be like the third car of someone selling. Someone sold 2 cars in that auction.
It was the last car,
and
and I swear to God, I mean, a small bidding war what must have been a goof. I mean, the people are bidding, and laughing like it's got to be just a fucking goof or something, right?
Totally.
It ends up going for $24,000, which is like, no. I'm sorry, but that a non-turbo stock Solstice is not.
But someone, if you went there with, $2 million to spend, this is like a $20 joke that you and a bunch of other people can get in on.
Didn't we discuss the economies of scale on the last show, where it's like, I did the math where it was like for whatever someone like me makes versus a billionaire, that's like me giving you a T-shirt and a billionaire giving you a Lamborghini.
Right.
The economies of scale are so vast that someone could have literally bought this for a goof, picked it up, drove it to the bar last night, and then tipped the bartender with it. You know what I mean? And that kind of shit goes on.
Yeah,
that's craziness. But
that's hilarious.
But it was his style of auctioning a Pontiac Solstice was excellent.
This is an underappreciated,
The coupes do look better, and they are worth more money. What I did find very interesting was at Barrett Jackson especially was the number of garage queen cars that didn't pan out. You know what I mean? Like somebody bought some car and put it in a fucking bubble or drove it 1,000 miles a year for 20 years.
Oh, the Monte Carlo.
Well, the Monte Carlo is by far the worst offender. And boy, did some people get mad at me. People were like, I used to respect what you had to say until you talked bad about the Monte Carlo.
Well, we used to respect what they thought.
Yeah, right, dude. So that was one, and then I've got all these pictures on my Instagram. That was one, and then there was another couple. There was like an IROC, and there was a Jag XJS with like no miles on it. There were a couple IROC, and like they just like, all right. So here's an example. I did this math with somebody. If in 2002 that shitbox Monte Carlo, now we're talking about an investment piece here, right?
Exceptional vehicle.
We're talking about an investment piece, right? A car from 2002 with 1,000 miles on it was bought as an investment, right? We agree there. Okay, that car was $32,000, 2002. If you had bought a fucking 308 in any condition in 2002, right? Needed a major service, maybe the paint wasn't great, fucking whatever, right? And you could have, in 2002, you could have any number of 308s for under 40 grand. They were worthless. That 308 is now worth 75. And your fucking shitbox Monte Carlo that took up all that space in your garage is now, that sold for 11.
I don't really like the way you're talking about my boy Earnhardt now.
And how embarrassing for fucking Dale Earnhardt to have his name on it, on that. That was the commemorative edition after he died one.
Yeah.
That
terrible.
hunk of shit is the Intimidator SS Dale. Fucking the one Dale crashed in was going 200 miles an hour. That thing will barely break a fucking buck downhill.
So that car was 32 in 2002 money or 22?
MSRP 32,000, brand new in 2002.
So 15 years later.
15 years later
for 11.
Yeah. After taking up roughly, 20 by 8 square feet in someone's house for fucking 15 years.
I want to find out how much
the inflation was.
Yeah. How much 32,000 in 2002 was.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal.
It's horrible. I mean, that's one example. There's another guy who there was a Jaguar XJS that had like no miles on it, that sold for fucking pennies. There it is.
That's a V12 too.
That car,
yeah, XJ12,
$44,600
in today's money.
Oh. So dropped by 75%.
That's
so rough,
right?
That's really rough. But,
how much do you have to love Dale Earnhardt?
I mean, you don't know. Like the Ferrari back then, they weren't worth anything. They were a problem to fix. Like you're not going to.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I did the math with my friend. You could have bought a fucking like a Jag XK120 and parked it outside your house and just let it sit for 12 years or 15 years, whatever it was. And almost doubled your money.
Oh yeah, we know now.
Yeah.
But back then you were going, this thing has weeds growing through it. It's just gonna sit there.
Here's why you would have known back then that would have been a terrible investment, because it's an entirely marketing driven limited edition that has no connection at all to the motorsport that it is trying to connect with. Right? It's not like if Porsche won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the GT class and released a 24 Hours of Le Mans Winner Edition GT3 RS, right? That would be gratuitous greed, but there is a connection to an actual the car, to the event, to blah, blah, blah.
Right.
When you talk about a front-wheel drive Monte Carlo with a transverse V6 and an automatic, and you dare fucking try and sell me that and go, Dale Earnhardt drives this in NASCAR.
Exactly the same number, right?
Dick.
Yeah, it's true.
And the opposite is true too. The NASCAR has no connection to a Monte Carlo or a Camry.
Correct.
Or a fucking,
correct. And look, I'm not shitting on NASCAR. NASCAR's fine. Do your thing, NASCAR. But when you're GM and you try and I don't even. I mean, I'm not even upset by GM for that embarrassing shill.
No,
I'm
I know what you're
upset-
saying. There's no correlation between the racing and the car,
Right.
other than a number 3 painted on it and the general paint scheme. But
Yeah.
as far as the actual foundation of the car,
Yeah,
how
and
it
so
drives,
any
what it
car
has,
like
yeah.
that is going to not age well
Mm-hmm.
and not be a good investment because that's not what like the enthusiast wants.
There's a weird thing with special editions. Some come out, I mean, a lot of special editions come out of nowhere. Like Porsche has plenty of them.
I just drove 2 special editions in Palm
Right.
Springs yesterday.
But they have to, some of them it is purely marketing. Oh, this is the Silverado Blackout Edition.
Yeah,
Like,
Texas
well,
edition.
Right. But that
Every
doesn't mean
single
anything.
truck has its own Texas spec version that and every Texas dealer stocks. And you see them when you go to Texas. There's a Longhorn edition or a Texas edition.
That
or
new Ram looks pretty sick, by the way.
It does. It looks nice.
like it.
Every
Those are good
truck,
trucks.
though, is way too fucking big, dude.
Yeah.
Every normal truck now is like bigger than my Raptor was like 5 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, and my Raptor was a monster. Its trucks are huge. Remember the track the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw that new Super Duty.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
humongous.
me, it was so big. I couldn't. I was like, what? Where?
Doug DeMuro did a thing on the F-250, and I think the hood grill was 12 inches.
Like tall, right?
Yeah, tall.
The emblem, I mean.
Tall,
the emblem.
right? Yeah.
The Ford emblem on the front of that fucker was 12
really?
inches.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very
Or just
funny.
the big FRD.
Well,
they
the
have.
one,
Yeah.
I forget. Were you in the car with me the other night where we got behind a Ram and the letters Ram were the
I was
entire,
with you.
the whole tailgate?
I was like, what kind of truck is that?
That was the whole fucking tailgate. It was brutal.
Which is taken off of the Ford front
Yeah.
badge
Yeah,
thing from
yeah.
Raptors. But Ford hides it when it's like the whole grill's black. and
Yeah,
it's kinda
Ford did it
hidden.
black on black.
This
It
was
was
like
like
a
a little
white truck
more DL.
with black, like matte black ram.
And the F-250 I'm talking about isn't F-O-R-D. It's the oval.
It's the oval.
The oval was 12 inches.
The ovals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
that's
can
crazy.
eat off of it.
It's hilarious.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a fun Doug thing to point out. Good for
Yeah.
Doug for men. Did he measure? Did he pull out a tape measure?
He did not, I
That
don't
would be
believe.
that would be the
before.
most gangster. Yeah. So anyway,
What was
what else
were the
about
best and worst that you saw? That was a question.
that
we
Barrett?
had. Yeah,
the
yeah.
best. Well, look, there was a lot. Go back to my Instagram. I'm sorry, I keep plugging the Instagram. Go down. There was a C3 Corvette that was just bitching, and it
Yellow
sold
one?
for 115, I think, or maybe it was 150. I don't recall. That had like some crazy Moton shocks, and it was like one of those. Click over to you can scroll to there's a build sheet for it. I forgot who fucking built the
does look
thing.
mean.
48-hour Corvette. It's called Active Suspension with Ride Tech. I'm guessing that's magnetic shocks, launch control, Ligenfelter, 650 horsepower LS7 V8 with dry sump, Bowler T56 gearbox, Curry Ford 9-inch rear.
1.7 lateral G.
That was the crazy one.
Jesus
And I guess it
Christ.
won
Wow.
Optima. It doesn't say what year it won Optima. I guess maybe last year. But
Optima. I mean, that's if you win Optima.
yeah, it says Optima Ultimate Street Car
Yeah.
Event. I mean, it won at least one of the events, which is that means you're fast.
It does
It
significantly.
means the car's fast.
Autocross champion, national
Yeah.
champion. That's a sick.
So there
When
was-
did we get to 1.7 Gs?
I don't know. There was a tank at Barrett Jackson. There's
a tractor.
dude. Here's the thing about Barrett Jackson. Okay, so we can talk about like the coolest cars and shit I saw, but the shit you can buy there that isn't a car, you can buy. Look, that's a turbine-powered fan boat. Most fan boats are powered by radial engines like Cessnas.
Yeah.
That's a fucking helicopter turbine in the back of that thing. I think there's another picture. Didn't I double picture that? Yeah. Look, that's a turbine in the back of that. And then there's a turbine-powered helicopter or a turbine-powered motorcycle that made 450 fucking horsepower.
Oh, it's like the Y2K bike.
Yeah.
That seems so dangerous.
And then,
so dangerous.
dude, there's like, you can get, there's like vintage outboards, right? There's art. There's, obviously gas pumps and neon signs and weird paintings of cars and like there's knives, there's stilettos and switchblades. There's fucking custom boots. You could get fitted for custom cowboy boots. You can get chaps hats. You can get jewelry. There was like no fewer than a dozen. It's set up like a flea market.
Yeah.
There's booths. So
It's
there's like
any hobby that remotely crosses over with cars.
Dude, there was
Knives,
a guy
boots,
who was
yeah.
there. I met the worst Rolex salesman you have ever fucking seen, because this guy had a bunch of vintage Rolexes talking about, this one is pristine, this is the beautiful, it's original finish, original is 8 inches from his perfect original Rolexes was a whole rack of custom dials he can put in the fucking Rolexes. So he's showing all his custom dials, which is like if you're buying collector Rolex, and he's basically got his custom dials right next to his watches that are like, these have never been touched. It's like, oh really, buddy? Okay, good luck.
Because you look like someone who knows how to touch the dial.
You look like someone who, you're the person who can swap dials out, and you don't seem trustworthy at all.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
There were beds, hot tubs, boats, buses, trailers, RVs, buses. There was a fucking tank.
How many hot tubs were there?
There's that boat.
I feel like
there was this boat that was like that thing. This was like super drug runner boat.
It's amazing.
It was like twin 1350 or 1400 horsepowers. Sorry, Tim. Do we have an issue there?
Yeah, sometimes when I hit the
tech
mouse,
issue,
it just doesn't go.
Okay.
That boat is crazy. That's you're going from Monaco to the other yacht, and you want to get there.
No, you're
right
going
now.
from Colombia to Miami. Yeah,
that's so cool.
And just it's crazy in terms of the shit. Like, I'm glad I went, because TV focuses on the stage, and then they focus on tight shots of people showing you one car.
Right.
It does not show you the scale of Barrett Jackson. You have to park somewhere else and take a shuttle over, and then they go, you can't bring any weapons or no guns, no knives, no this, no that. Like, and people like laugh. He goes, no bombs, and people laugh. Okay, they metal detect you. Go in. They're selling switchblades right on the other side of the fucking door. Here they pat you down. Oh, you don't have any weapons? Okay, cool. You want to buy one? Because I'll sell you one.
I wonder if gun shows do that, if they confiscate.
Dude,
like
they
CCW.
had giant knives, giant cleavers and axes. You could just grab one off a table and go on a fucking axing spree in there.
And no one would be prepared. That's very weird.
I don't get it.
This was Arizona, though, right?
It was Arizona. Yeah. But
so I would have thought they would have let you take the gun inside.
Not inside Barrett. I mean, they made a point. Yeah, I mean,
but I think if it's a private
event,
like restaurants can say no, you can or whatever.
But it was huge. It was so big. There's so many cars. There's so many vendors, and it's huge.
I mean, I remember going to like the Hot August Nights auctions, and it's like the tent is big, and then the staging tent is big. It's like a hangar, and then
so
outside
there were 5 staging tents.
For one stage or for
there was one auction stage at Barrett, and there was 2 huge indoor stage tents for the really high value stuff, and then 5 outdoor staging tents. And it was big as fuck.
Was there another tent for like didn't sell but still for sale, like off reserve or anything?
Well, Barrett Jackson's a no reserve auction, so everything sells.
Okay.
But at Arusso and Steel, there were definitely areas where it would say still for sale, contact owner. Wow. There were a couple of those where I thought I might get a deal. I sent someone a text message about one of those Lincoln Continentals, the Series 2 Continentals I always talk about, that I want to put on Detroit Steels and bags. He did not get back to me, though. But the car was fucking ace. It was so nice.
Really nice looking. Of course,
they're so cool. But they're in person. They're gigantic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where I would keep something like that, but it was fucking kick-ass.
There was someone in Santa Cruz that had 3 of them, not in good condition.
Yeah.
And if they were smart, they kept them till now, and they sold them for a bunch. But they just had a coupe, a convertible, and a 4-door just parked.
You're talking about suicide door Continentals.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one before that.
Oh, you're
50s.
talking about the one with like the 5th wheel.
The one that was like more expensive than a Rolls Royce. Like
Gotcha.
It wasn't actually called a Lincoln. The Continental was a separate brand, like Genesis. But I mean, look, there were a lot of muscle cars. There was a bunch of like firsts. There was the first ever GT350. They'd sold. There was like the first 4GT, then your first CR1, blah, 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 blah.
They always get some pretty special stuff like that.
Charities. It's always for the charity auction. So the manufacturers will donate stuff. It's a deduction,
right.
Because, and also, guys will overpay for it because, if you're going to give money to charity anyway, you might as well end up with a fucking ZR1, right? And then anything you overpay above the MSRP of the car is tax deductible. So
yeah, smart.
And then you see the loan sharks who hang out there too.
Oh, wait.
So there's loan sharks at the auctions, and if you are not like pre-approved, but like if someone vouches for you that you're like good for it, they'll fucking loan you money in a couple points and buy a car for you, and you pay them back. Like, it's weird. And they just roll to the auctions with like a line of credit for $20 million.
Are they're like a private credit company?
Yeah, it's a private guy.
Or are they like loan
private
sharks?
guy. I mean, I don't think it's mafia. I think it's legal. I just think it's weird and different. I don't think it's criminal.
There's nothing untoward being.
No, I just think that it's a view into a world that most people don't know exists, which is that there are legal businesses that will front you millions of dollars to buy vintage sports cars if they are under the impression that you're good for it.
Okay, this is a segue to a very weird interview I just listened to of a guy who used to work at Credit Suisse, like a very high up, like VP kind of person, and now he's starting a company that people can buy pieces of rare sports cars or other assets and own them like stocks.
100%.
It seems so weird to me.
It's not that weird. It's just set up. It's set up like a fund. It's set up like an investment fund.
But how do you? So my thought of it was like, say people go in.
Those people aren't
and
really driving them.
No, right. But what if whoever owns that car, wherever that car is, a bunch of other people buy into it. How do they know that car is not being driven, being taken care of, the engine's not being swapped out or something like?
You feel like it's audited. You know, there has to be some oversight. Obviously, I hadn't considered that if you invested in a fund for a car, that car would be parted out. That wasn't in my first thought about that, but I do know several people who are investors in or manage car funds. Yeah. There were a bunch of people at Barrett Jackson who I interacted with, or at not at Barrett so much as at Gooding and at RM, because the people who really run the funds, they really only fuck with the top cars. And there's not that many top cars. I mean, there's only 10 250 California short wheelbases. Like, everyone who knows anything about Ferraris knows where all those cars are. I'm talking about brokers and fund managers, not you and me.
But it's also like, if you were say you're the smart young broker, just like stocks, and you see the Porsche bubble starting 3 years ago, and you could start buying in on 76 911s.
Yeah, well,
for lower dollars.
That's the guy who cornered the market on CSLs and the whatever. Oh, that's the guy who knew to buy 20 M1s. That's Joe Simonetta.
Oh, okay.
Chairs and flares. They call them chairs and flares because there was the two options on the Dino, the Daytona striped seats where it's red, black tan. That's the chairs option, and then there's a fender flares option. So there's very few Dinos that have chairs and flares, and that's like a thing.
Gotcha.
And when Dinos were worthless, in the 90s or whatever, he bought all the chairs and flares Dinos. And he slowly trickled them back out into the market at his pace, and now chairs and flares Dino's $500,000.
Well, I mean, mathematically, financially, it makes sense as a fund. It's just like any other asset or stock or something. But I felt like there was so much room for fuckery because the world is the world, where if someone owned the car and they put it on this fund thing.
No, see, that's the thing. The fund isn't. I don't think we're talking about a privately owned car that then you would buy a share of. The fund owns the car.
Gotcha.
Everyone owns.
There's they sell shares of it.
The car is owned by Exotic Collector Car Fund LLC or whatever the fuck it is, and everybody owns a part of the fund.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, you could have some shady fuck parting the cars out. I guess that would be a pretty intense scandal that I would love to write the story of if that was going on. But I think everyone has an equal interest in that car being, worthwhile. But at a certain point, if all cars at this level are owned by funds, well, then what's the value? You know what I mean?
Does it just flatten it out? Yeah. Okay. Interesting idea.
And you continue to see interesting cars, like especially at Gooding. Porsches and Gullwings and stuff that have been in one family for 55 years and like have fucking duct tape on the seats, and are like kind of rusty and have been driven the whole time. That's pretty cool. You see,
because we have some Barrett Jackson questions, so might as well continue on to them.
Sure.
What do you think will be the top 5 cars in 15 to 20 years, like the millennial numbers?
Yeah. Supras and Skylines are going to be high. I saw 2 R32s go for over 40. They were very nice cars. They were clean. They didn't have dash bubbles, and they were stock. Like, they were nice, but that's now a realistic number for an R32.
Yeah.
R34 Skylines certainly. Left-hand drive 6-speed turbo Supras for sure. 993s, Porsche 993s for sure.
Just all the enthusiast stuff.
Yeah, the stuff.
E36s, are they coming up yet?
Nah, they're just not that good. There was an E36. There was an E36 M3 that was 24,000 miles at Barrett. Dakar yellow, black, Vader seats, the nicest one you'd see anywhere. I mean, I stopped and went, wow, that is like clean. And it sold for like 29 grand. You know, but
More than expected.
Wow. But what we said, we decided collectively was that a mediocre E46 was better than the best E36.
Oh, as a driving
experience.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, lightweights, E36 lightweights, but we both know that lightweights are a fucking waste of money.
Yep.
RS Americas, oh my God. Anyone who bought 24 RS Americas when people remembered how shitty they drive, not shitty, but like meh, and now RS Americas are like 130 to 150 grand. An RS America is like a Carrera 2 with a wing and light doors and cloth. That's all it is. There's like no AC. There's like the cloth door pulls, but like it weighs like 35 or 40 pounds less than. It's like there's no fucking difference, and they're just stupid.
Is that a little similar to the 911 T?
Yeah,
which is like
but a
radio delete its light, put the radio back in.
Yes,
and the GT350R.
No, GT350R has carbon fiber wheels.
But don't you pay more to not have air conditioning and stereo and all that stuff, and then you have to add it back in?
No, well, yes, but no. But the cost of the carbon fiber wheels in the wing are really expensive. Right. So
if you bought them separately, is what you're saying.
If you bought the wheels separately, it would cost more than the upgrade from a regular 350 to an R, even if you include a back seat and air conditioning back in. Yeah. Ford actually, to their credit, they're not such a dick about those sorts of things.
Right.
Porsche with the 911T, the new one, I think, but at the same time, totally want to drive one. I totally want to drive one.
The car's very good.
Did you drive one?
No, but the current 911s are very good.
Yeah, even the base Carrera was very good. I don't necessarily, for me, see the justification in going from a base Carrera with sport exhaust and sport seats. I don't see why I wouldn't just get an S instead of getting this T. But then again, I haven't driven it. Yeah. So wait, other questions about Barrett?
Was there any car that shocked you for how much it went for?
Shocked. I mean, like that RS America going for $135,000 plus buyer premium. I was like, yeah, no, that's not. That Mercedes I talked about earlier that didn't go anywhere on Bring a Trailer and got big money there. I mean, Larry Webster, who I was hanging out with from Haggerty, we were looking at this 68 Mustang for him, and he was like, if this thing, he's like, I could go probably up to 30 or whatever, and the car was probably a $30,000 car. Like, it had a clean motor, it had a nice paint job, it didn't have any body work, but like the wheels were kind of ugly, and the interior was kind of janky, and like it didn't have the standard seats. It had some weird, short, sort of shitty seats, and like it needed some things. Like It was nice. It was from 10 feet away. It was nice, but it was not a big dollar car. And this thing went for like 55 grand plus premium. Whoa. And me and Larry both rolled our eyes. We're like, wow, someone just got fucking hosed on that, and just walked away like, thank you, sir, have a nice day.
Well, Larry is probably smart. He's looking at the bad wheels, the bad interior, and going, okay, this needs 3 things or 4 things, and then it'd be great.
Yeah.
And that's what a smart buyer would do, but someone else might ignore those things.
And go red.
They just see it, and red. They just go, awesome. And then they get home and later try to sell it, and they realize, oh, I need to fix all these things.
Yeah. And I saw like a 350 powered C3 Corvette go for like 140,000. It wasn't even one of the big block ones. I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I think it had very low miles, but I didn't spend a lot of time, frankly, focusing on individual sales. There was a lot to see, so I really just wandered and took in whatever I could take in.
Do you think, someone asked, is it worth trying to sell a car there, or are most people just there for the show? Because it is like a giant car show.
Yeah, it's
with
both.
A huge, amazing array
I think
of stuff.
if you had an enthusiast car, and well, you have to consider total costs, right? You got to get your car there. You got to, you know what I mean? There's I don't know what the costs are in selling. It seems like if you wanted to go and enjoy it anyway, going as a buyer or as a seller is a good way to do it, as opposed to me going as just a spectator. You know what I mean? If you're going as a seller, it gives you something to do that's not just wander around and look at stuff. So I would say, yeah, I guess, depending on the costs. I think if your car is the right car, Bring a Trailer is a great place to do it as well. But if
Bring a Trailer has low fees for seller and buyer.
They have low fees. Yeah, well, the buyer pays fees at the auctions, but but sorry, my phone was buzzing and I was being rude by looking at it and telling it to shut up. I got a text from Cameron Weiss. This is the first 3 words were celebrity chef in town. I was like, oh wait, hang on.
All right, well let's segue then. Speaking of all the special editions and stuff, let's talk about Subarus.
Oh, Subarus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I drove to. We glossed over the Macan Turbo that I drove to and from Barrett. Real quick, Macan Turbo Performance Package, 114 is tested. Woo! Yeah. However, as usual, you cannot cling to a Porsche spec'd press car sheet because this car was spec'd very, very silly. This car had ceramic brakes, which were optional, and you most certainly do not need. And this car also had something called a Turbo Appearance Package, which, as best I can tell, I had dinner with Chip Foose, to drop a name, in Scottsdale. I went to a Haggerty thing, and I sat next to Chip Foose, who is the sweetest guy in the world. He was so chill, very funny. And I played a game with him called Can Chip Foose tell you what $8,000 worth of turbo appearance package gets you on the Macan Turbo? It cannot. He cannot. It's more black shit.
Okay.
You get more black shit, like different grill strakes and
probably like around the windows.
Let me tell you about an option you don't fucking need. That is a dumb option. But you get a twin turbo 3.6 liter V6 that makes 440 horsepower. You get PDK. You get great steering. You get an adaptive suspension, sport exhaust, sports seat, adaptive sports seats, heated and cooled, the whole shit. So my perfect Macan Turbo performance pack is around 94 grand, which is a lot still, but it's not 115 either. The car was awesome. It is a luxury rally car. It drives like a rally car, but it is a luxury car in terms of comfort and refinement and all that kind of stuff. It was absolutely great.
They are, because I drove one up to AMG Drift School with Trimble and back, and it was like, unless you need a lot of back seat room, like if you have kids that are over the age of like 8, it's a great size. The trunk's a good size.
I think you can fit adults. You can fit adults behind the seats.
You can, but like if I had to sit behind you, that would be really rough.
Yeah. If you're sitting behind a 6'3" driver, no.
It just depends on the height of everybody. So it's not like a super spacious vehicle, but for the most part, it's the correct size because everything else has gotten so big lately.
Yeah. After it's so funny, I dropped off that wide body Hellcat and then got in the Macan, and I went, oh, thank God the car's the right size. But it's really fast, really fast. I saw Aaron Robinson, who said they tested it 0 to 60 3.7.
Ooh.
It was really fast. It handles great.
Yeah.
It was just, it was lovely. It when you say it doesn't feel like a Porsche, it doesn't feel like a 911, but it has a lot of the elements that you come to associate with modern Porsches. PDK is what makes a car feel like a Porsche today, right? You put PDK in a Panamera, and when it shifts, that action, yes, this is Porsche.
True.
The quick steering racks. Not much input required.
Responsive,
there.
not harsh in all ways. Steering, shifting.
The consistency of a shift speed. A shift speed is always exactly the same, whereas in other cars that may not be the case.
Depending on throttle position, right?
Yeah. But fuck me, man. As a well-rounded everyday car, it could totally be your only car. Even if you would go to a track day, you could embarrass some fools in one of these things. Really embarrass some fools.
I rode with one of the engineers when they launched the Macan at Streets, and he turned all the systems off and was four-wheel drifting.
Fast. It's so fast. I found a new road. Oh, it was great. I bailed on the way to Scottsdale before Palm Springs, and rather than go on the highway past Palm Springs, I went up over the back of that mountain over Idlewild. Oh, it did it at like 7 a.m. It was glorious. I was
Did you
mobbing.
come down where we shot the tune shootout?
I went up and then came down the 74.
Yep.
It was glorious. And the car, God, I had like a 30-minute bonsai run, and I didn't fade the brakes. And the car was like, what? Oh, yeah, you want to, I feel like a Porsche, you can beat the shit out of it. And it just is like, yeah, cool. I'm good with this. No problem, ever. It's great.
They do put the work into like hot weather testing, cold weather testing. Like JF and Tom went on like the first Macan development. They went to the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
They were driving around in like negative 20 degrees, pulling a garage. They threw boiling water, literally boiling water, onto the headlight to make sure it wouldn't crack. And it didn't. Like,
of course.
So if they put that kind of work into every piece of it, you know, because they know they're known for reliability, they got to keep that going.
Yeah, but it has. It doesn't feel like it's a crossover, but like when you park it next to my Focus, it's only like a couple of inches taller. It's not like it's like towering over anything. It's just like a slightly lifted hatchback, really, or a slightly lifted wagon, maybe, or you know what I mean? It's like if you put it next to my Focus, it's like 120% scale, not 200% scale. You know what I mean?
And a lot of that's just ride height. You know.
Yeah, and my tester had the air suspension, which is height adjustable. It was so nice. It made me very sad to give it back. Like, I would definitely buy one.
Really,
absolutely,
really good.
The holdback is, Nick Steinman had the Macan S, and we did the Cobb tune on it. And unless you are really going fast, you know what I mean? For your average run around the city or go on the highway or even punch it, a little bit going through whatever. A difference. Definitely a difference. A difference in displacement, not just boost. So it's a different type of power. You know what I mean? It's just a little more effortless with the turbo. But it's even the way I would spec it compared to how Nick's was $20,000 different. Nick's was $75,000. And is there anything that, if I got back into Nick's now, is there anything that I go, wow, I'm missing that? And it's like, not really. You can get 90% of it for $75,000. And then if you want that extra level of, if you really are going to go to a track day, or if it's your only car and you got the money and you really want that extra performance, then sure. But if it's not your sports car, save your money and get the S.
That's really good, because there are cars where it's disappointing when you go, you know what, if you can't get this one, you might want to get something else. And that usually comes with a higher cost.
100%.
So it's good that you can have that spread and still be happy.
Right.
Because Nick's was nice. It had red leather interior.
It was lovely.
Good, black,
yeah.
Like, it was a nice car.
Yeah, this one, even beyond that, it had the bigger engine, obviously, and then and you get different wheels,
Carbons,
and you get different
suspension.
stuff. Nick's didn't have the air suspension. It did have adaptive, but it wasn't air.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's correct. If it's not, I apologize. But also this one had like Nick's were like 8-way seats, and these were like 16-way seats or something, and like it was nice, but you don't really need that, So
because Porsche's 8-way seats are good. I have been in cars where they have power seats where they're not great. Their adjustment level's not very good, or the Hellcat had like no lumbar adjustment.
Yeah, the Hellcat seat, for as Barca Lounger like as it is, it's shockingly simple.
It's very simple.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to adjust Porsche seats usually, and or there's everything from manual to crazy super adaptive ones, and this one had the crazy ones. So, but cool. I would say recommended. Definitely if you got it, recommended.
Yeah,
for sure. But don't load it up to 115. That's diminishing returns. I think the base was 86. And you get
base
a lot.
For the turbo.
Yeah, for the turbo.
Right.
For base for the turbo with performance pack.
Oh, okay.
So you actually get a lot for $86,000. Above that, like the thing, like they charged, mine was Carmine Red. That's $3,000. It had sport design wheels. There's another $4,000. It had the sport seats. Boom. There's your $95,000.
Right.
Now add ceramic brakes. You don't need that. And the carbon trim, whatever. You don't need that. So that's how you get to $95,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roughly. Yeah. Had the good stereo too, which was much appreciated.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, moving on. Subaru. Then I went to drive Subarus in Palm Springs. Wait, should we talk about your drift thing first before Subarus?
Well, we already segued to Subarus because we're talking special editions.
So I drove the STI Type RA, and then I drove the BRZ TS. They're really just Scrabble. It's really just Scrabble at this point. Just keep adding fucking letters. So drove them at the track and on the street a little bit. I got a sufficient amount of seat time. I rode for road and track.
Because so last night, like I was doing homework, and there's not a lot to do because this was the launch. Like there are no articles out about it yet.
No, there's no articles.
The takeaways that I saw were this. It only has 5 more horsepower.
Yes.
Very slightly lighter and stiffer.
Yes.
Both cars get more, suspension retuning.
All right, so
brake retuning, et cetera,
roughly,
et cetera.
yeah, it's a tweaking, but I think. Okay, so we'll start with the STI.
Yeah.
The STI, it gets 5 more horsepower, which is irrelevant. However, it gets stronger pistons, not forged, just reinforced pistons. It gets these new valves, exhaust valves.
It had a revised third gear.
It has a revised third gear.
Short and 0 to 60.
And it has a short shifter standard. It has Bilstein dampers. It has Yokohama Advan tires. The carbon roof is not just a skin. It's an actual structural carbon roof.
Oh, nice.
Which apparently really changes the rigidity of the chassis.
Save weight.
It has new wheels. It has, there's a bunch of just little shit. Suede covered steering wheel. They changed the colors of the brake calipers. It's got new Recaro seats, which are not great, actually. They're the same Recaro seats that you would have found in the RS4 and S4 from like 2007 era.
Oh, yeah.
The B6, B7 Audi seats, it's the same seats as those. And then they got some aero little bits around that help negate some of the lift that come from the top mount intercooler. And I think that's it. There may be another little thing that I'm missing, but okay. The kicker first, 49,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. However,
well, it's like $8,000 more than a regular STI, like limited. In
yes.
that, you know.
I will. They had a regular STI there that I took a quick spin in. It is more than 8,000 worth of car. Better.
Wow.
It's the sum of these little parts are a really well-rounded and really pretty fast car. I'm as tired as this 2.5 engine as anybody. It's not that it's a bad engine, it's a fucking old engine. Like it's just old. But the chassis improvements with the car are pretty good. The steering is not as sharp as the Focus RS. It's a little not number. It's
slower ratio.
It's a little slower ratio on center. Off center, it's really, really good. It's really communicative. The controls all have the right weight. The shifter's pretty nice, although the Mountoon short shifter in my RS is better.
Is the Focus RS shifter rod actuated as well?
No, it's cable.
Wow, they just do a good
cable.
job. Okay, because it does feel nice.
In my car.
Yeah.
It's really good in mine. Yeah. The brakes were really good. It felt quick. Like it was nice. Like you could really balance it using different throttle inputs. Like at the mid corner, you could definitely micro adjust the throttle and steer the car like that. You could smash curbs real hard. Thermal doesn't have they don't have the rumble strip curbs. They have smooth curbs, but they're tall. So it's like a ramp up a tall curb.
Right.
So you can hit them pretty hard in the STI. It does a really good job, and the ride quality is nice. It's quiet. You don't hear much. But it is.
What was the ride track and street like? Was it super stiff on the street?
No,
I mean the roads in Arizona are pretty good.
The road. We were in Palm Springs.
Oh, my mistake.
The roads were, and thermal is glass. The ride was good though. The Bilstein shocks are nice. The ride was good. I only got to do 3 flyers, hot laps at thermal. But I did a run up and down the 74. It was nice, man. You could really carry a lot of speed. I'd rather have a PS4S tire on there. I'm not a big fan of the Advans, although I will say that they talk a lot. Like they start to squeal like long before they brake, and when they brake in the STI, like it's so progressive and easy. Like I wasn't doing like huge Ken Block 4-wheel slides, but like when it brakes, it's like totally progressive and manageable. It's a very nice car.
It's a very cohesive, comprehensive modification.
I mean, it honestly, like, it's those, like, you can do, like, little shit to these cars, and, like, it changes the character of the car, you know? It's
Well, because I remember when I drove, this was years ago, when this model of STI came out, this body style, the was way stiffer chassis-wise, and the difference was huge. Like turn-in, feel, everything. It was a huge step forward. This is another step.
Yeah, this makes the regular STI feel disconnected and floaty.
Wow. Because I wonder if the stronger pistons are like, look, they know people want more power out of this car.
Yeah.
For some reason, they can't I mean, it's not like the engineers building these cars don't know that people want more horsepower because it's had the same power number for 15 years.
Yeah. No, they actually they said that it wasn't necessarily to make it more tunable. They said it was to handle longer track sessions.
Interesting.
So that's what it is. They said it's really track focused. So they did studies, and the heat builds up in a certain way, and they found that reinforcing the pistons here gives you an extra cushion of strength when you're doing a track day.
Okay.
So none of the cars had a problem in my presence.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of them.
I didn't know the other ones were having problems, but I mean, I've never talked to an STI owner, a current one.
I mean, they're not known for endurance racing.
They're not known for, past 100,000 miles. That's true.
Yeah, they're not known for holding, more than really 400 or so wheel without major, and even Crawford and guys who really do build the big ones, like you hear about their motors blowing up sometimes too. It's like physics is a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
The architecture of the block is just not for that.
Right. Yeah. I don't. At a certain point, it's like buy a fucking Carrera 4S. If you want an all-wheel drive car with that much power or that level of performance, like you're just gonna have to go beyond a 4-cylinder at a certain point. Anyway. Okay. It felt great. Like, it was a nice car. Like, if that were on the market today, like, the price would probably keep me out of it. But if you're a diehard Subaru guy, you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of old white guys driving these fucking things. You know what I mean? Like, this is an old white guy track day car because it really accentuates all the things that Subaru does well. And with the exception of the wing, it's not too, like, tuner car-y. And it's balanced. It's really well balanced. It's fucking expensive. Yeah. It's expensive. Yeah. And in a straight line, my Focus RS is way faster. Well, granted, it's tuned,
right?
Not stock, but it's a lot faster.
I mean, you'd have to take one of these and put Cobb Stage 2 on it. You could, and find out.
And Johnny Lieberman, they have a regular 18 over at Motor Trend, and they just put the Cobb AP Stage 1 on it, and they took a second off their 0 to 60 time. Mm-hmm. So, it was significant. So that's out there too as well. And so I guess I'm not being totally fair by saying that my car is this because my car's
to be fair, your car with the modifications on it is probably about the same price as this will be.
Probably more actually because I got $4,000 shocks, which probably reminds me actually they've been riding there. It's really, really nice. I'm so happy with it now. It's like, it's really great. I want to take it to the track. Nice. I didn't have the balls to ask Subaru. Yeah. Hey, while I'm here, can I borrow 15 minutes of track time to run my competitor's vehicle here?
Totally different market. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. I will say that the Subaru does ride better than my Focus does, even with the very good shocks.
Wow.
The Subaru to me, I haven't looked at the numbers, but it feels like it has a longer wheelbase, than the Focus does. I mean, it has a lot more back seat room, so I wouldn't be surprised. It feels like it has a longer wheelbase, and then it also has a slower steering ratio. So on the highway and stuff, the Subaru is a little less darty than the Focus. The Focus has a very quick steering rack, and I also have like kind of an aggressive alignment on it from West End, and so it's a little darty. It's not like bad, but it's definitely more noticeable. You have to input a lot more steering with the Subaru than you do with the Focus.
I'm trying to look up wheelbase length, but it might take.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out the Subaru is a bit longer. It feels it anyway. The wing really adds high speed stability. At thermal, there's a really fast double S. Well, I don't know about double S. It's a back and forth. I guess that's a single S that has two big curbs, and you take it flat at about 100, 110 miles an hour. And the STI did it really, really nice. That section, it was very good. Like you can steer it, flat. And it'll go.
It'll do stuff. That's very good. Because they didn't used to do that.
Yeah.
BRZ.
And Type RA, by the way, that's record attempt is what that stands for. I'm not sure what. I think there's
coming off the Isle of Man.
I don't know. Higgins, Mark Higgins was there. Very nice gentleman. Fun. Had lunch with him. Nice. Chill. Very good driver. He was. I had to shoot some stills for Road and Track, and it was the most fun to shoot the car he was driving because he would get two wheels in the air and shit, and he was mobbing, as a Higgins do.
Because those Isle of Man drives are nuts.
I think we need to go.
Really? I'm in.
I was drive partners with Glucker, and he went to Isle of Man, and he said it was the best spectator motorsport event he's ever been to. I think it's worth going for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should try and set
Those
that up.
sidecars are ridiculous.
Fuck,
love
these
that
people
stuff.
have some. I don't know.
So the Subaru only 500 cars, huh?
They're only doing 500 worldwide. Does that say U.S.? Wait.
No, it just says 500.
Yeah, no, it's 500 worldwide, I think.
Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty
500
small.
US. So not even every dealer will get one. You know,
Okay.
I think most dealers won't get one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, it's 48.9, and then it's with your destination, it's just under 50. It's a fucking expensive car. I mean, for a Subaru, you know, if you're sitting in the street, you know, if you're not on a racetrack, finding out where those dynamic changes make a difference, and you were to go on a dealer test drive, you'd be like, well, what a waste of money this is. You know what I mean? You need to be at that limit or driving it in a really sporty way to notice the difference.
Yeah.
But once you do, it becomes immediately apparent.
Well, you have to drive it the way it was intended to be driven.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. So then I drove the Brz Ts, Brz Ts, the Brz Ts. That's a good picture there, Timmy, of it drifting at what looks like Thunderhill, right? Would you guess Thunderhill there? I think that's a Thunderhill.
With red and white curbing.
It looks like Thunderhill, right?
Yeah. Or Sonoma. No, Thunderhill, because there's...
No, I think that's either maybe High Plains.
Yeah, I'm going Thunderhill.
I think it's Thunderhill,
Yeah.
right?
Then like March.
Yeah, with the green being that color.
Yeah, and all the hills with no fencing.
We're such fucking nerds.
The length of white and red is longer than Sonoma, which
Yeah.
is more of an 18-inch length between colors.
Yeah. So Brz TS. TS is a new thing they're doing. It's tuned by STI. So it's like
Okay.
BMW M Sport
Right.
or Audi S Line, same kind of thing. So you get the same fucking miserable engine. I mean, the engine is a disaster. It's just so slow. It's so slow. I mean, it's depressing.
Those cars do a very good job of communicating so much to you in acceleration, like through hands and feet, that you're like, this is a fun car, and you look down and you're like 30.
It's so slow.
40.
All right, we'll move on past it being so slow. Have I mentioned it's so slow? But it's tuned by STI, so it has revised SAC stampers. It has 18-inch wheels with Pilot Sport 4S tires. It has this aero kit with the adjustable carbon wing. There's it's not a traditional strut tower brace. It's like a flexible V brace in the engine that's in the engine bay that's really interesting. And there's another brace in the back that's called like a draw brace or something. I'm not.
Yeah, they did a bunch of stiffening.
Yeah, it's chassis stiffening. And then by the way, just to take a step back, they took I think 68 pounds out of the STI RA, which sounds great, carbon roof, etc. But 35 of it was by removing the spare tire and putting a can of Fix-A-Flat. So to me, that is bullshit. But I think that's cheating. So anyway, the Brz Ts, I don't think you can get better chassis feel for less than like 70 grand.
Ooh.
Right? Like you can carry a ridiculous amount of speed in this car.
You can feel, even in the regular FRS and BRZs, I've always been, granted my driving ability is far below yours, but like the communication
I would not
between...
say far below. I would say very slightly below.
No,
but
you
whatever.
do a lot of track. But anyway, you can really feel everything. Front tires, back tires, what it's doing, how much yaw there is. Like that's why they're easy to drive quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's very, very communicative. It's very planted. It's very stable. It's easy to drive. I mean, it's easy to really carry a lot of speed, and the brakes are good. However, one of my favorite things about the BRZ was actually the shitty tires.
Mm-hmm.
And the shitty tire, there was these Michelin like Primacies, they're Prius tires. And the reason those Prius tires ended up on there in the first place is because that was what it took to get a standard BRZ to break 30 miles per gallon. They really wanted that. This is not that focus, right? So they've got PS4Ss, but there's really no more sliding. I mean, you'll see the video when it comes out. It's hard to slide. You can, if you put a handbrake on it or something, or if you really enter a corner way too fast, you could slide it. And in fact, I do in one instance, but there's no, I mean, even if you go, you brake to an appropriate speed and then go flat right as you're turning in, you'll push. Like it won't, it's got too much grip for its power now.
Right.
So if you're, I would say that it's great pretty much in all the ways that they've improved it, but I would consider a second set of tires for the rear with the shitty rears because that playfulness is like so much of what the BRZ is about. And like these improvements have really improved the grip. The grip is so high. The grip felt to me like close to where the MX-5 Cup was. Like close, not quite, but close. But if you try and slide it in the tight hairpins, like it pushes, and it tells you what's going on. But I think for a car with 200 horsepower, unless you're trying to set a lap time, it actually has too much grip.
It's like my Miata was really easy to slide. I forget what tires were on it, but they were pretty bald. But that was really fun. And that if you take a Miata and build it for a club spec or autocross competition or anything, with the power that goes away.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want from your car?
Yeah.
And this I think could be a great, Swiss Army knife if you had some shitty tires to have fun in it, because then a more rigid chassis is gonna be more responsive and have better feel anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to place judgment on an entire car based on the set of tires it comes with, which by the way are nice tires. PS4Ss are good tires, but when you're talking about a car that has 200 horsepower, I think that the chassis improvements are nice. The steering feels good. The brakes are good. It's a nice little car. It's super, super slow, and it now is way over-tired for, in my opinion, what is the most fun thing about it, which was that you could get it to slide like really nice and easy, predictably, and then you could slide all day on you could do hours of drifting on a set of one of those tires.
True.
And so I see what they're doing here. I get it. But at the same time, this now more than ever, that car needs 100 more horsepower. Now it's like my Mustang, right? You take my Mustang and then you add all this tire and all this brake and all this chassis and all this grip, and now you go, what I really need is 100 extra horsepower, because now I can go flat like all the time. And it's like that is super, super true here with this car, because it's just, you can drive it like such a cockbag because it has so much grip and no power.
I wonder if, and this would be pure speculation, conspiracy theory, but if they are going to eventually put a bigger engine in that car, they know they would need to brace the chassis and all those things. So if they're doing the development anyway, it's like you might as well try to sell a few.
Yeah, they didn't want to hear me asking about why that car doesn't have a turbo on it.
Oh, of course.
It's honestly like,
they've been asked that for 4 years.
Yeah. I don't get it. And here's what was really crazy was I asked two of the engineers if they had ever driven one that had a forced induction modification, and they both said no. That to me is crazy.
I'm sure they have.
You think they just lied?
Yeah.
Really?
Because if people have been asking about that for a very long time. And and the same with like the STI horsepower. Like they know where the market's going. They know that you can get a V6 Camry with more horsepower than your an STI. So it's probably easier for them to just squash that discussion by saying no.
Well, they squashed the discussion by saying, "What doesn't even say it on that website, Tim? It's like ultimate feel, and like it's it's all feel, But at a certain point, if you're going to build a sports car, it has to go a little quickly, a little bit, like a little quickly, especially if it's going to be $35,000.
It's ready for it.
It's $35,000. Yeah, it can handle it.
You can get a Mustang for that much money.
If that car made $250 wheel, it'd be great.
Like, how much is a Camaro 1LE V6?
It's in the 30s. That's probably the same, probably roughly the same as this.
Yeah.
But they're only making 500 of these too. This is not the new BRZ. This is like some special edition, thing. It was nice. It was cool. It is what it is. It is exactly. I would say that the improvement is unlike the STI, where I say the improvement is far greater than the sum of the parts. Seemingly, I think the improvement of this car is exactly the sum of the parts. Just got to stick your tires It's got a little more aero, so it's a little more stable at high speed, and that's it. You know. And
so what do you think about these two as a millennial investment vehicle in 15 years?
That's tough. I think if you want a real Subaru investment vehicle, you need a 2-door STI, like a 22B.
Right.
You know, there's a limited number of those, but there's a lot of these special edition Subarus, just not in America.
Yeah.
In Japan, there's like Spec C, Spec B, Type TS, Type da. So I don't know, as these cars maybe get imported here or get sold at some auctions, but I think the 2-door STIs, the real 2-door STIs, you know, because what year can cars be imported out? 94, 93? 25 years.
Yeah,
92.
I think the 22B was like a 99.
92, 93. So as we start getting into the second half of the 90s eligibility for importing, when it's like R34s and 22Bs and that kind of stuff, that is going to be a big boom in people of our generation.
Well, the 22B...
If I was a tech guy who had millions of dollars, I'm spending 100 G's on a 22B. Fuck yeah, I am.
Right.
You know?
Because that's the car that made people fall in love with Subaru.
Yeah,
that was the rally car.
Yeah.
That was the Colin McRae car. That was that was on Top Gear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that put it in everybody's brain.
Yeah.
So that's of course going to be the one.
Now this one, I don't know. These are unlike. Let's go back to that Monte Carlo from Barrett. Right. These are real, tangible performance increases. That RA is the record attempt they're referencing was from like. It was like highest average speed for 24 hours with like this original Legacy in 94 or something. And I think it's either talking about Isle of Man or Nürburgring. I think it was Isle of Man. But it is motorsport related. So it'll be interesting. I think STIs in general tend to hold their value very well, don't they?
I think they do a pretty good job. I think what's interesting now is design language.
I mean, if you buy any stock STI, really, especially like a Hawkeye, right?
Right.
If you bought a Hawkeye in 07, what's that, 10 years, and you put 100,000 miles on it and left it completely stock, I bet you can get 25 grand out of that car today. And it was 35 then, you know?
Let's find out.
But I don't know about the BRZ. The STI, I would say, Tim, probably could be a future collectible, but it's got to go through all the phases first, right?
Right.
Where it's new, and then the secondhand guy gets it, and then it goes to, and then it comes back up, you know, the other way. So I enjoyed it. Thank you to Subaru for having me. My story will be up on roadandtrack.com. I took the photographs as well.
All right, these are 2006 STIs for about 13, 14.
Oh,
That's
is that
150,000 miles
That's
on
a
that
lot of
one.
miles, yeah. Okay. Maybe I was
100,
high.
109,000 on a blue one for 13 completed
all right,
listing.
I was high.
You know,
I was high.
but I think I'm not sure what the engines do after 100,000 miles.
Explode.
You know? Yeah, so that could be a problem.
I don't know. Don't me that.
Right. What else we got here?
I think I remember when we talked about the Focus RS head gasket thing, and I put a date on it. Remember, I was like, today is December 18th or whatever when we were talking about it. And there's since been in development. Now they're saying all Focus RSs built up until like April of 17 or something should have their head gaskets replaced. It's a math thing, right? It doesn't mean all of them have bad gaskets.
Right.
Or even most of them have bad gaskets. It means we see a PR nightmare coming, and we're going to get the fuck in front of it.
What's the 996 problem? The bearing something?
IMS bearing.
And that's 5% of cars, but
Yeah.
everybody thinks that all 996 are.
And
just
everyone
fucked.
who buys one has the thing changed. Yeah. So by doing it now, they got to spend it's probably 20 to 25 million to replace everybody's head gaskets. But I had mine checked on my own. But I'm not even going to go in until I need another oil change. Like, it's good until the end of 2019. But there's a lot of people out there that it makes them really happy to say I told you so to someone like me. So there's a lot of nasty comments or whatever. Like, it's like, you're really a fan that like hopes my engine blows up? Is that really like, if you call yourself a fan, like, you want me to have this problem? Like,
No, but people like to be right.
they like to be right.
wanna be right.
Yeah, so they like
And
to
it's drama.
reinforce. They like to reinforce that their previous held conception that Fords are pieces of shit. You know, while throwing a stone from their glass house.
Right. Every company has recalls.
Of course.
You just gotta
Remember when
just Google
when
recall.
Porsche replaced all the GT3 engines? We don't think of the GT3 as an unreliable car, do we?
No.
And yet they recalled all of them and replaced their fucking motors. So it's just like, it's not that you can't possibly expect everyone in the complex production of a car to be perfect all the time. It's really how you handle that. And not that Ford is always perfect, but okay, at first it was, here's a problem. If you have this problem, bring your car in. Okay. Now it's, just in case, let's fix all of them. Fine.
Yeah.
And if it's not like urgent, it's not even a recall. It's called a customer satisfaction bulletin.
It's the best thing you could do in that situation. We don't know which car's got what head gasket.
Well, that's
we know
the thing,
that someone
yeah.
fucked up, so just...
It seems like one person, like they sent a box, one box of head gaskets to the factory, but it's not 1-to-1. It's not like VIN numbers 47 through 112 got them in a row, because the head gasket goes on a motor, the motor goes on a shelf. Maybe that shelf, maybe it gets moved. Maybe you take one from the left instead of one from the right. It's like,
yeah,
that one box of gaskets could be spread out over months or whatever worth of cars.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Depends on how the factory's set.
But they're fixing it. If you got the issue, if your Focus RS is fucked up, bring it in right now. If your Focus RS is not fucked up, at your next oil change, have them fix it.
If I had one, I would just do it. I would just go in and be like, just do it. I don't know.
I would just do
take
it.
Care of it.
I would just do it if I didn't have an oil change 500 miles ago.
Right.
Yeah. And I happened to run an oil test at the same time. Blackstone, which I wanted to try, actually. I was like, I want to do an oil analysis. They're like, it's good. So
what do they send back with it? I have one of those kits waiting.
they send back a sheet of paper that has a printout of, they test for various metals and particulates and things they filter out of the oil and whatever. And then they show you the tables of like what these levels should be. What does it look like? And then how do yours compare to that?
Do they then say, okay, if yours looks like this, that means X? Or
yes,
okay.
The presence of this could indicate this. In my case, the important thing was the presence of coolant in the oil, and that was 0. So that's good.
That's good.
They also said that there was a little bit of copper in the oil, but that given that my engine only had like 9,000 miles on it, they said they think it was residual from break-in, so it's not to worry about. But everything else was within range. It's fine.
Cool. That's very good.
So I know if there was coolant in the thing, I would absolutely have it fixed right now. But
and if you have a car with higher miles, or a car you race, or a car that you do anything like,
if it's convenient, just go take it in.
Yeah.
But for me, I just had an oil change done. I just had it checked. I know it's fine.
Oh, sorry, I meant Blackstone Labs. Like,
that's
regardless of what car
interesting. You can learn a lot.
Yeah, and they send you the kit for free. And then I think when I ordered the kit, they send you like the little bottle and the envelope for free, and then you basically pay for the results.
Yeah,
which is
and I think.
It's not
expensive.
Is
it E92 M3s you want to do it to make sure what's the rod bearing thing that can be checked in oil? Isn't that one?
E46 had a problem in the first couple of years, but your car by this point should have had that fixed when you bought it.
Oh, I thought E92s,
maybe.
the V8s had an issue. Anyway, those are the things that I drove. Those are the cars, and the cars that broke, and the cars that are fixed. Yay! What else? Oh, do you want to talk about drifting?
Oh yeah, it's the most fun ever.
Oh yeah.
I got 2 friends that convert. They'd never been around it. They live in Ventura. So I went to the Camarillo Airport, and it was an event hosted by this company called Circuit Spirit. They've done like 3 of them. Super chill, good event. Like safe but relaxed. Like you could get fairly close to cars for photos or video or just to watch, but you weren't in a spot that you'd get hit unless someone did something like really, really, really wrong. Pretty, it's on a runway, so it's pretty wide.
How was the surface?
Brand new.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they repaved the whole runway in this area, so it's black tarmac.
Oh, that's awesome.
It gets stickier throughout the day, which is funny. I've learned a lot about I forgot about tire pressure, and the temperature went from 55 degrees in the morning to like 80 in the afternoon. So everything got a lot stickier. So I was raising tire pressure. So much fun, just so much fun. And the difference, the reason I went there was I wanted to have a target I had to adhere to. I wanted to have a course versus
just go to
skid
a skid
pad at Willow, just
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can't, we've done that before.
Yeah.
And you can get it wrong if you loop out, but otherwise you're always right. But if you're just doing a slide, you're like, I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So this was stay within these cones.
Yeah.
And
that's when sliding on road courses becomes a challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's part of why I went there. Sliding on road courses or anywhere else, you want to be able to do it. Crowd was kind of what you expect. Mostly
Flat
younger
bills.
people, a lot of flat bills. I was really bummed when I saw a lot of 240s like up on jacks before it started.
Like broken?
Yeah, like people are under the oil pan doing stuff, and like the event hasn't even started. And it was a 2-day event, but I felt bad that those people were like, "Oh fuck, I already have a problem."
Yeah.
There was some serious shit there. There was definitely some like pro amateurs that are training and getting ready for the next like what are they, like the 808 slide competition up at Willow and all that stuff. So there was 2 IS300s with like built motors, wide body, crazy wide front track caged, an E46 with a cage. Some V8 swap 240s with, full cage, like semi-pro, a turbo 350Z that hauled ass and went just deep in the 90-degree slide. Like it had 60 degrees of angle. And it was just making everybody else like, here's what you can do with a good car and if you know what you're doing. It was very impressive.
Cool.
Yeah, took 3 friends for rides, and they were like, "Oh, we want to start looking for cars to do this." But I had all the adrenaline. My friends were watching, and they were like, "Oh, this is really fun." And I would get like shake them by the shoulders, and I was like, "This is so much fun!" And I was like, "No one else is excited as me." And they're just like nodding, like, "All right, calm down." Fuck, it's so fun.
That's awesome.
What else is going on there?
That's awesome.
What does that cost to do, Zach? What's a day at Circuit Spirit?
It's $90 for one day.
It's not bad.
And I got there in the beginning. I ran 4 sessions and I got 4 laps per session. And I could have stayed 3 more hours, but I was like, I'm pretty tired. My tires are still going. The same set I've now taken to like the Barham Bravarus. I've taken it to like 4 hours of skid pad at Willow and then 16 laps of this, including like burnouts and stuff. And there's still 25%, 30%
That's
left.
hilarious.
They're
Is
amazing.
your car showing any signs of wear?
No more than it would show normally. Did I get a service light 2 days later? Sure. Is it related? I don't know. Fuck that thing, but I love it too. Dude, it ran
funny.
like I pull up and the guy's like, risky. I'm like, what? And he goes, drifted an E46 M3. Risky. And then another guy was working there. He's like, awesome. Good for you. Like people will be mad that you're drifting this, slick top, everyone, because there's another car there, super clean Laguna Seca blue, parked on like Volks just off to the side watching, and it was like, that's a pristine car, but you should be having more fun. Putting together turn after turn after turn after turn is difficult. It is difficult. Especially when the distance, there was like a big long left-hander and then a kind of like a right chicane into a left hairpin. And the distance from the left sweeper to the chicane was quite far if you don't have a handbrake, it felt like. You need to you have enough speed to make it there. But a couple times I drifted around the chicane and then I was going to come up short on the hairpin. So you have to like get enough speed, but also get the angle to whip back right, but not too much because I looped out a couple times at the hairpin. So that was a lot of interesting lessons of, trying to get enough angle. I tend to get overzealous with throttle because I'm having too much fun. I think if I focused on being clean, I probably would have made it around the course more than once. Like,
is that how many
entirety.
times you completed it?
That's how many times I completed it.
How many corners were there though?
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a lot to link. If you're not a pro, that 4 is a lot to link. Yeah.
And I was not. There are plenty of people doing far worse than me, and then the semis pros doing like a lot better. But I tend to get I want more angle, I want more burnout, and then it's like I didn't have to whip it that far, and I could then make it around this corner. But it was a lot of interesting lessons in that, using clutch in as a substitute for handbrake, where like the wheels slow down and I would just slide into a hairpin and then clutch out and start it again.
I think most people don't understand about drifting is you spend quite a bit of time off the throttle and like with the clutch in, just like coasting. There's a lot of just coast where you get the car sideways, but then you just use its sidewayness to slow itself down. So there's more of that than you think in drifting.
It was a weird move. We learned that at the firm rally school. Remember the pendulum swings? Was no handbrake. It was just clutching in and out, and that would throw the weight of the car around. So that was a really weird thing to use out there. Versus if you have a handbrake, obviously you have a handbrake, or if you have crazy power. But even then, like, going into a corner at like 5% throttle and just letting the back whip around and just like 5% throttle to keep it moving a little bit, versus, you're flat all the time, throwing smoke. Like, that's not what you're doing.
What else we got on Facebook before we...
What is the best bang? Wait, what is the best bang for your big car summer daily? I'm stuck between a W140 S600 and a W220 S55 AMG for $8 to $12,000.
A 140 S600 or a 220
S55.
Oh God, I don't think either of those is the right answer. I think the S500, the W140 S500, which is the boxy one with the V8 engine, is the one. That was because the performance of the 600 does not outweigh the headaches and maintenance costs and all of that kind of shit, whereas the 500 is much, much easier to maintain. And in many ways is exactly the same car. Yeah.
And for that budget, the W140 is probably a simpler engine because everything gets more complicated.
Much simpler, yeah.
It can be very dangerous. To go back real quick. So speaking of the Subaru TS, too sticky to have fun in, there was a guy in a lowered Miata out there trying to like get back into drifting, and he was trying to just do a circle donut around a cone, and he was just going in a circle.
And he didn't have enough power?
He'd go flat, and you'd watch it would just hook, and he was just he was like a merry-go-round, and it would break loose for a second and then catch again.
Oh, it sucks.
Too much tire.
There was one guy doing like little donut drifts with the BRZ, like on the skid pad, which was significantly dustier and than the actual track. So like nobody was really like, a couple people tried to slide the BRZ and looped the fuck out of it. I tried to slide it first and I got pushed and it just like wasn't pretty. And eventually I figured out if I slammed the throttle and also bounced it off the curb, I could yump drift it a bit. And that was how I eventually did it.
Okay.
So like the other people tried to sail it in with too much speed and looped it because they didn't have enough power to keep the sticky tires going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I think it needs the Edelbrock supercharger. Something.
There's going to be a picture in my article for Road and Track that it shows a BRZ sliding, but it's actually about a quarter of a second before the guy fucking looped it. And it's like, if you just look at that picture, hero. You know
why I assume the engineers have driven the boosted car is because Porsche, I don't know if I heard this on a shoot or something, but they have tried every combination with 911s. Like they had a V8 911 in a test bed somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, they try everything. They have to know because they have to know where they want to go, where they've been.
You think, but they said they hadn't. The Japanese are different. They're weird. Okay. When it comes, it's not that they're weird. Like they just have their own.
They have a method.
They have their own method. Whatever it is, they seem to have it. It works for them. I mean, look.
They might have different engine laws too than we do. So,
but everybody was there. We're like, God, this thing needs 100 horsepower so badly.
That is going to be the engine swap car in 5 years because I think the size is the same as the 240.
What else we got? Because Mercedes is outside.
all right.
I have a housekeeper named Mercedes, and she's come to clean the studio. But I make her wait outside until we're done recording.
All right, let's end on this Porsche thing. What is your opinion on a 2001 911 Turbo? Good entry into Porsche or just buy a newer Cayman?
No, I mean, that's a good entry into Porsche. I mean, 996 turbos are cheap. They're cheap. I saw a couple in like the 30s, the 20s. I mean, some are going to be more. The really fresh ones are going to be up in the 50s or 60s, but they're fast. They're fast. The motors are stout. The drivetrain
they need some bushing stuff, right, to get the kind of that handling precision.
Yeah, they need. I don't really like how 996s drive. I think they don't drive like other Porsches to me. So I don't know, but if like they're not ticking time bombs and they're strong and they're fast and they have potential for modifications, and how cheap could they ever get? I mean, if you get one for 30, like how cheap is that ever going to be? I don't know. I don't see that car ever being 15, even though the Carreras are 15. The turbos.
Larry Chen's got one, right?
Larry Chen's got a turbo.
Yeah, he's got a turbo, and I think it was at BBI when we saw it.
They're fucking fast. Bucky's got one. I mean, there's a few people that have got them.
Depends on what driving experience you want, I guess.
They are very fast though. They're good. They're good for runways.
I would love to have one. I think a great all-around daily GT
they're nice.
everything car.
They're nice
Cayman
if
is
you
like
like them.
a focused track kind of thing for me.
Caymans are very well rounded too. I like a good Cayman. I'm a fan of Cayman. I like the new ones. I like the Cayman S, the 2.5 liter with the variable geometry turbo. I much prefer to the 2 liter with the regular turbo. I think it has a much bigger torque curve. But anyway, I think that's a show. That sounds like a show. That feels like a show.
Yeah,
we've covered the things.
Talked about the things.
We've talked about the things. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Smoking Tire Podcast. Oh, on last thing we got to promote the new Watch Podcast, Watch and Listen with me and Cameron Weiss. It's a separate channel. It's not here. Watch and Listen, iTunes, Shout Engine, and of course, thanks to Beeline Coffee. We got here. Look, look at this. Give me that camera, Timmy. I got my own coffee. Smoking Tire Coffee. From Beeline, 15% off, BeelineCoffeeCompany.com. You can get this delicious single origin high altitude roast.
It'll make you rumble.
It'll make you rumble. It'll also cure your ball sweat. Yeah, that's it.
Smells good.
It's delicious.
Smells real good.
It's delicious. Let's drink some. Bye, guys.